Allowed me to be here tonight. I am honored and so blessed to be asked to come here and be a part of this wonderful weekend. This is sure a far different way than I spent my weekends 10 years ago. Glory to God. Amen. Y'all know I've seen that video numerous times, and you'd think by now that it wouldn't have any effect on me. But to tell you the truth, it breaks my heart every time I see it, and for that I am so grateful, because I never want to forget where God has brought me from. I don't ever want to forget the day, the morning at 6:30 when I was walking down the street and I cried out to God, God, if this is my life, if this is really how it was meant to be, then kill me. Let me die, because I can't do this anymore. And if it's not, then help me. And He did. He was there. He showed up and He showed out. I never for 1 minute want to forget what the scourging, the humiliation, the suffering, and the death of Jesus Christ on the cross at Calvary did for me. He came to heal the sick. And as you can see from that video, they don't come any sicker than I was. But glory to God, He loved me enough to snatch me out of the depths of addiction, prostitution, and sex slavery in an instant. You know, what the saddest part of my story is the acceptance that I had for my lot in life. I didn't even realize I was being trafficked. And I guarantee you that most of the women and children and men being sold out there, they don't know it either. They believe they are prostitutes by their own free will, and because someone has lured and tricked them into doing it. Then society's ignorance has called it choices, saying, well, you made your bed, so lay in it. I assure you, it is not so cut and dried as a choice. It's a trap, like quicksand, and not so easy or safe to choose to get out of it. And much more serious and life-threatening than the melodramas you see portrayed on Lifetime movies. As a child, I was abused and treated very poorly, from little bitty. The first time I was sexually assaulted, I was 18 months old. And my mother passed me around to a group of men that she was playing with. I was groomed for that lifestyle early on, and this made me an easy target, just as it does many human beings. I had no self-esteem, no self-confidence, and I craved acceptance. To feel like I was good at something, anything, was an accomplishment I desperately needed. And most of these men and women have never succeeded at anything else either. They feel like they're not good for anything else, and trust me, their pimps and Johns steadily feed that belief system. It is the world's truth about them, not God's truth, not who they were created to be, but who they have been blinded in believing they are. I know, because I was sold on that belief system 100% myself, and it is devastatingly destructive to your whole being. The statistics say that 89% of prostitutes want out of the lifestyle. The statistics say that 1 in every 3 children that run away will end up in the sex industry. The statistics say that 300,000 children in the USA are at risk for sexual exploitation every year. Well, I'm here to tell you that those statistics are not accurate. Why? Because those statistics are based on reported children. I wasn't a reported child. No one knew about me. No one. And during my life of prostitution, I saw hundreds more like myself. Hundreds. Some who were traded as babies to the dope man for a shot of dope or a crack rock. And never thought of again. Those children end up just like me, or dead. They aren't in the statistics, and they are the reality of this lifestyle. The realities and the horrors of this lifestyle are worse than any fictional horror movies that have been written. And the threats and the abuse that are used against the women, men, and children to hold them in this lifestyle are horrific. I have seen things done to women and their children in order to control them that you wouldn't believe. And it was just ordinary, everyday life. Now, I realize how warped my mind was to accept all of this as normal, but at the time it was my normal. And to those still trapped, it is their normal now. I pray God helps us to reach them, because they are reachable. In God's world, there are no throwaways. He wills that none should perish, not one. God saved me, and He saved me for a purpose. I tried so hard to go to school and put the prostitute behind me, to bury her and forget she ever existed. I wanted to shut her up and learn how to be a real person. But God has another plan for my life. I must let her tell the story of her life and her struggle to become human after He raised her from the dead. Because that is what He did for me, you see. I was dead in sin. And He told me, rise and come forth. I have risen from the ashes of the former life, and I am dead to the old life. And I am a new creature in Jesus. And I'm going to tell the world and all who will listen how Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, raised me from the dead. And I'm going to spread the word about the reality of prostitution and human trafficking and the truth about the choices and traps, the bondages of this nightmare, and do all I can to let God Almighty use me to set the captives free. Coming back from this horrendous lifestyle is a constant struggle due to the damage it causes. I was basically stunted in all dynamics, socially, psychologically, emotionally, etc. I had to grow up when I was in a grown-up's body. It is very hard and very embarrassing. If God had not meant for me to succeed, I wouldn't be here today with you beautiful people. Because I still struggle with some things considered normal. And it has been 10 years. These women need help and support to learn how to live when they come out of this life, or their chances of not returning are high. I thank you all for your time, and I ask you to look in the faces of every little child you see. to think of this and know none of their dreams are to grow up and lay under thousands of filthy men for money. Every little child wants to be loved and cherished, not abused and discarded. We can start today by loving them where they are, like Jesus. Please think about that the next time you see a prostitute. Would Jesus throw them away? Should we? Thank you. God bless you.